Okay, here is the Desmos example for creating a scatter plot and adding in the line of best fit. So in the Mod 5 notes, this is on page 10, example 6. So I'm going to follow the notes that are on there. We've started at desmos.com. When we go to Desmos, there is a box right in the middle, graphing calculator. We are going to click that. Up in the left-hand side here, I have a plus. I'm going to click on the plus, and I am going to add a table. I need to tell Desmos that these are X's and Y's that go together. So again, the same data. The student who spent 2 hours working on the project got a 5 out of 50. The student who spent 6 hours working got a 40 out of 50. Let's see, we've got 5.5. Now, if I just hit enter, it will go down explanatory, and then I can go over here and fill in the response variables. I got a 45, I got a 35, and a 30. Notice that the only point I have showing over here right now is my 2, 5. So even though all of my X's are captured along here, my Y-axis is not going up high enough. I need to fix that. I also don't need this negative part, okay? So I definitely don't want to waste space. So I am going to click on the gear up here, graph settings. I have an option for my x-axis. You know what? I'm going to start it at -1. I like this little bit of a buffer here. And let's see, what is the most? We had 6. I can leave it at 10. That's fine. I'm going to label this right here. So my label is number of hours spent working on the project. Okay, doesn't take much. And if I click over here, I can see how this labeled my x-axis right there. Back up. Y-axis, I definitely don't need, -7.454. So I'm changing that to -1. Let's see, my highest Y value. You know what? The paper score was out of 50. I'm going to make this out of 50. You notice now I see all 5 points. I'm going to add a label to my Y-axis here. We're going to call that project score. Okay. I am going to close this, and I'm going to show you a little secret here. I want to add a title in. I am going to come down here and just pick a point. It's what looks like the center. 548. You notice it graphed that point for me. I don't necessarily want the point. I want to label my graph. So I'm going to label it this way. Hours spent on project versus score. I don't necessarily want this dot here, so here is trick number 2. I'm going to go up here to this little, I guess this is a gear. That's a wrench over there. Here's my gear. I guess I should change it so it says a wrench. I am going to click on that. I am going to change this and turn off that point there. And now it just creates the title on my graph. I can also change my original point colors, make it a little easier to see. Okay. So now we're on step 2 of the directions. I'm going to click down here into the box. I need to let Desmos know I want it to create the equation for me. So notice up here at my table, x sub 1, y sub 1. As I build my equation down here, I need to use x sub 1 and y sub 1. Sometimes we've got multiple tables going. I may have an x sub 2, y sub 2. I need to make sure that the equation I'm using down here matches. So I want this to look like my equation of a line. Okay? That's the y equals ax plus b. Here, though, I need to tell Desmos to use the values in the table. So I'm typing y1. I did not subscript. If you put the number after the variable, Desmos is going to assume that you want that subscript. It's going to do it for you. Shift, the squiggle or the tilde is right next to the 1, to the left of the 1 at the top of your keyboard. I've got A. I'm going to add in the times. We really don't need to, but I'm going to shift 8 and use the asterisks for a times. And then X1, so it knows I want to use the values from the table. Notice here I don't have that y-intercept added into the equation. So this is going through the point 0, 0. For now, there's no y-intercept. So plus and then B. It gives me the line of best fit right through here. This time it's in red. I could go back up and change it to black if I wanted. Notice this gives me my R, that correlation coefficient that we just found in Excel, exact same thing, 0.9154. I have got a slope, an A of 8.8835, and an intercept of negative 6.31068. If I were to go down here and type in y equals 8.8835 times x plus minus, sorry, it's a negative, minus 6.31068, not going to change. Notice that it lies right on top of our red line. This is the equation of the line. This is what you tell Excel to create the model. The squiggle replaces the equal. That tells Excel it's creating the model for us. We put in the x sub 1 and y sub 1. That tells Desmos to use the table. And then A and B, Desmos is finding those for us.